Training ground. You asked for it, you get it. Ryu and I will rip your photos into smithereens. Hold on to your headphones. Here comes the pain.
Painfully. Actually, no, it's not really a painful thing. Like, I was just, we're just talking about the D5. And yeah, I guess the painful thing is that Matt told me that the using the CF card is a no-no with the D5 because files are too big. And I've been using the D4 with executing now. I just really had enough because one slot XQD, one slot CF card, and it was like, okay, I don't want to do it anymore, and I want to go back to CF card. But apparently, XQD card, I mean, once you really go there, you really don't want to go back. So I am kind of
if you're shooting on any kind of a deadline, if you need to get your pictures off the card and onto your computer, there's really no choice at this point because XQD right now is twice as fast, and it's going to get faster.
And my daughter is here. Did she take a bath? She took a bath. She looks like she isn't taking a bath, huh? Yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll start with that. Not with the Nikon D5 or Nikon D4S, but what she wants to come. Oh, she's doing the Stephen Curry thing. Oh, okay. So she's here right now, but it's not really going to change what I'm going to say. So welcome to Big Lens Fast Shutter, where we demystify the world of sports photography. I'm knocking shit off my desk next to my daughter. And yeah, everything is going as planned. First of all, I just want to thank everyone who's been going crazy with the whole Patreon thing. We're almost up to a whopping $200 a month, which is obviously going to help feed this person who's sitting on my lap right now and Matt's cats, who might actually die because Matt goes crazy and kills small animals when he's a bit stressed out. It's been very, very good. So if you want more info on that one, it's patreon.com/BLFS, and that is patreon.com BLFS. You can find more information over there. You can start as low as $10 a month, and you get a lot of good things with that money. So she's gonna be now.
Yeah, and if you're participating, if you're putting stuff in a training ground, and if you're downloading the podcasts and things like that, we need you to donate to us. It is optional, but we need you to do it.
Yeah, especially like if you are a heavy user. Matt and I, we don't do this, out of the love of, I don't know, all humankind. We do it obviously to help you guys, but at the same time, we also need to eat as well. So
and it's a choice. It's a choice. We're carving time out of our schedules to be able to do this. I don't want to go onto a long rant here, but I'm home for a grand total of 36 hours or something like that, and I'm going to spend an hour of that time doing this right now. Make it worth our while.
And please, really, really do. It will really, help us, and like it really makes more sense for us. Well, it will really motivate us, to get things done if we know that we are getting money for it, obviously, because I don't know, just like think of whatever job you have, you're not gonna do it for free. So anyway, rant is over. So let's move on to our first photo, and that is by Reed Neureiter, and this is a photo shot by his daughter. So Matt Cohen, it's what? Take it away.
I like the other one, the black and white one that was at a better angle and had better background than this. What's good about this picture is that it's from the motorcycle, so that it's an angle that we don't ordinarily see in Reed cycling pictures, or I guess his daughter cycling pictures. The light is at an angle which makes the shadow interesting. What's not good about it is the fence and the power lines. When you're going to take a picture like this where the subject is dead center, everything else needs to be working towards that. And when you have power lines like that that everything is not symmetrical, it takes away from the impact of the symmetry because there isn't any. So this picture would be better on a road that's away from power lines and walls and things like that, where it's just the bike and the rider and the shadow and the light. So that's why this one doesn't work as well as the other one works.
No, and I think did you talk about the yellow, the dividing lines as well? No, you did, no.
No, I didn't, but yeah, that's
also a no as well.
Yeah.
Like these things has to be absolutely perfect for it to work. And if there's one thing that goes wrong, it doesn't work at all.
There's just to clarify, not every picture has to be perfectly symmetrical. You're not going to get that, but this type of picture does, right? So you can have, okay, this is a sports action picture and there's a telephone pole in the background. Okay, well, unavoidable. But this picture could be recreated a million different ways because it's just a guy riding a bike on a street. So that could happen anywhere. So you want to make a picture of it where everything is coming together and where he's riding either between the two sets of yellow lines or between the one set of yellow lines dead center. You have to figure out what kind of picture you're going for. You're going for something that's super artistic, then everything needs to be where it's supposed to be in the frame. And if you're just going for a sports action picture, then those kind of requirements go down, but the requirement for the person doing something goes way, way up. So you have to make a choice. Don't get caught in the middle.
Yeah. Don't get caught in the middle. Don't get what? All right, listen, Anthony. That's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, like, I don't understand. It's like, what, are you stupid?
Yeah, I mean, Anthony has been at a much higher level.
Fucking what the fuck?
This is not acceptable. No. I mean, as many times as we've talked about cutting off things.
This is really bad.
Oh man. So I guess what we're talking about is that it's a partial silhouette and there's nice light coming through the trees, but you've absolutely completely wasted it. Even if you had gotten her feet in the picture, which you should have done. So I think what happened was he was just shooting with too long of a lens and he couldn't zoom out anymore, or he couldn't zoom at all or something, but it's a throwaway. I mean, come on, man. It's throwaway. There's not, you can't even crop this at her waist or something like that and hope that it would be good, because this is not. It's not interesting enough on its own. The light isn't that good. She's not making any kind of expression at all. It's, this is a camera phone picture.
I mean, you should fucking know at this point, that even putting it on training ground for what? Like, you should know that this is it's garbage.
Yeah, I don't want to discourage him from, breaking rules or trying things or whatever, but the time for you to recognize something that is not even on the right path, like I think you're past that right now. So maybe, kind of retrench and figure out what rules you want to break and what rules you can break, because it's not
a fucking
good.
Disaster. No, yeah. It's terrible. Kevin Sosa.
Yeah, I mean the reflection pictures are cool. I try to make these as much as I can when I'm shooting on the ice. This one, the girl that you can see through there is the problem for me. Like it's breaking up the flow of the player and the reflection. And
yeah, but if she was like, for instance, if she was in focus and if you can see her eye through that thing looking at him, and then like I don't really want his physical presence to be there. No, I would just rather want the reflection. That would have been interesting. But
yeah,
I think the thing is, like, I'm sure you're gonna say this, but he's not doing anything interesting, the whatever this number of 63.
No, he's coming to the penalty box. I think that I don't know. Yeah, I agree that if you could see her eye in focus and then you just had the him in front of it out of focus, that would be fine. If she wasn't there at all, that would be fine. Or I guess if she was in focus and you cropped it down to just her and the reflection, then it would be at least more interesting than this. But this as it is, you can't. I don't think that you can have a player and his reflection and somebody out of focus, that's recognizable as a person. I just don't think that you can. I don't think you can do that.
No, you can't, and you really, 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 really can't do it. So
It's a good try. It's a good try, though. I mean,
this is. I don't mind, but the execution is very poor.
Right. He's trying to break a rule, and he's just not. He's not getting a good result. But I want to encourage that kind of thinking because that's how you get interesting pictures.
Yeah. But the photos suck. Yeah, you have to know that.
Yeah, it does.
Basically, you got 10 faves from people that you know. Okay, Kevin. All right. So don't get too caught up on those things. There's another one. I think I read briefly that he cropped it and he wanted to know like if the crop was blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's not the problem.
No, I don't think it's the problem really. Like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like it's too far for this type of thing, and I don't know. If you want to have the crowd in it, there has to be like something interesting going on that you can see.
This is like the classic 70 to 200 shot where you're caught in the middle. Like if you just had the guy's head who's on the ground and the player with the puck, then you have a sports action picture. And if you were shooting a 24 to 70 on the wider end or something like that, and you had a play on the ice, but this like monstrous crowd in the background or something like that, it would be like a feature type picture or something like that. But you're in that medium zone where it just looks super pedestrian.
No, and I just don't.
It's also let's be real. It's also significantly underexposed.
Yeah, that part doesn't really like bother me as much as the fact that like it really is kind of in no man's land. It does feel like you shot it with a really shitty camera and you just kind of cropped it and just like it feels like an amateur picture. It really.
I think we talk about getting caught in the middle or no man's land or something like that, and I think we see it a lot. You have to go for the extremes. You're looking for maximum impact, and so you're either looking for the detail, the scars on the face and the expression or something like that, or you're looking for this is the scene. And when you get in the 70 to 200 zone, if you are too far away from what you're shooting, or you can't zoom out enough or something like that, then you get caught in what we call no man's land, where it's not at either extreme, and what's going on isn't impactful enough by itself, and you just end up with a really boring picture. So what I would encourage you to do is details first. That's why our challenge, what do we call it this week? What is that thing called? No, the whatever, the
assignment desk.
Assignment desk.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of it. That's why the assignment desk is details, because we want you to focus on the details and then figure out, okay, how much do I need to pull back from here? Go for the high impact first. If that's not there, then look for the scene setting kind of picture. But you don't want to get caught in the middle, because that's, again, like we were talking about with the cycling picture, what happens has to be extraordinary. And this isn't like, it's nice that the guy's diving or whatever, but he's the only one that's really exerting himself. And the guy who's on a breakaway at this point doesn't even have the puck. So the actual athletic achievement that's going on there isn't enough to carry a no man's land type of picture.
Yeah, it's I have a feeling that he thought he got a very, very good moment. He got really caught up in it, and he wanted to make it work, so he cropped it. And he was, because I can't really see any other reason why he would think this is a very evergreen picture where we
I think you get into a thing where if somebody's jumping or diving, that's a good, that's going to, it's going to lead to a good picture where it might be like a good starting point or something like that, but it's almost never enough by itself.
No, it really isn't. But hey, live and learn. Shitty pictures all the time. All right. By the way, the focus is on the ball, just so you know, everyone's concerned. Simon West, it's a rugby picture. Everyone's happy. I think he's happy because he got the ball in midair. I cannot think of any other reason why he would want us to look at this picture. You know, and doesn't like me. Fuck all the cars in the back. It's almost perfect focus. Doesn't really matter.
So all right, so celebration and dejection in the same picture. Yes. Okay, that is something that is good to go for. But you just cannot blow the focus like this, and you can't have cars in the background. There's really, I don't even think there's any lens that you could possibly have on that you could shoot from this position, given your subject distance to the camera and the background distance to the subject. I just don't think there's any way.
What? It says 402.8. No. Really?
Yeah, it's just he's too far away from the subject, and the background isn't far enough away from the subject. You can't sit here. That's really what it comes down to. And unless there is a parking lot all the way around the field, you are sitting in the wrong place. Like nothing good is gonna happen. Nothing in this situation. Like there could be a great play, and if you have a station wagon with a yellow license plate or something like that, there's not enough distance there to be able to get that out of focus enough.
Yeah. Period. But the thing is, like, I'm really quite surprised that this happened on the other side. Oh, wait, hold on. I just want to say goodnight to my daughter. Sorry. If things happen at the other end, there's basically, you have no chance. Because we went through, we will keep on saying it because I'm sure there are people who've never heard us say these things, but there are other photographers on the other side of the pitch or the basketball court or whatever it is you're going to be shooting, who is much, much, much physically closer than you. And invariably, they would have taken a much better picture of the same thing because you're on the other side. And it's really a matter of luck.
It's totally a matter of luck. Yeah. And what it comes down to, again, is the ability to isolate the subject, and that comes with being close to it. And this is like a basic rule of optics in general, but you want your subject closer to you than the background is to the subject. That's how you get isolation of the subject. And again, I'm not saying don't shoot these. We're not talking about film. We're not talking a limited kind of resource or something like that. You can shoot away, but you just absolutely have to be able to recognize that this doesn't work and that's just a throwaway. Yeah. The reason you keep shooting is that something could happen. A streaker could run out onto the field or something like that. Something really dramatic could happen, but it's going to have to be well outside of the ordinary of what you would ordinarily see at a rugby game, match, whatever. Not just celebration and dejection.
Yeah.
So nothing good was going to happen here that's going to happen in the course of a normal rugby game because that car was in the background, and then because you focused on the ball instead of the celebrators or the people who are crying about it. So keep shooting because something dramatic might happen, but don't expect something like this to be anything. And you should really be able to recognize that at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, Tom. So this is another reflection shot. And, you know, as with anything in life, I mean, I guess you want a life, you want life to be a bit more interesting. And if, I don't know, I can't, like, I'm thinking of a really good analogy for these things. I can't really. So I'm just going to kind of explain it like how I see it. You have one thing that's very, very interesting that is going on, and that's the reflection. Like the fact that something is reflected. I think it's like a team bus or something, you can see it. So I'm kind of setting the scene right now. You see it, it's like you think, oh, this is fucking cool. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna wait for the fans to come by with the Irish flag and walking across it. The whole thing is that if the fans are not interesting, then the whole reflection thing is gone. Doesn't matter if it's reflected or non-reflected. The fact that like you're basically like, think about it like using like a filter, or using a very funky lens. Okay, if you're using those things and you shoot something, if whatever you're shooting is not interesting, it doesn't matter what kind of lens or what kind of filter you use. And it's exactly this. This is fucking boring. What the fuck's happening over here? Nothing. Nothing is absolutely happening.
It's a good analogy to the filter. I commented on this originally when I saw it because what you need in this picture is everybody wearing green or the team jersey or the same thing. Like what you have, like I can make out one guy in a green jacket. There's an Irish flag, I guess, that's also being reflected from that gate or the fence or whatever in the background. But that's it. Like that guy, and what is it? Like a shadow of a newspaper box or something. Or a mailbox or something like that. That's right in front of him. So that guy is when you're looking at this picture, like, okay, this is not a normal crisp kind of picture. Okay, it's a reflection. Okay, what's being reflected? And you see a guy wearing a red bucket hat and a ski jacket and khakis. So he might be a fan, but he also might just be walking somewhere. So this is not a sports picture. It's just not, but that doesn't mean that it's not a good picture. It's not a good picture.
Neither good sports,
Right. So the goal of this is, it's a good idea. It's less obvious than just shooting a crowd of people, but it also takes way more patience because you need to basically stand by the bus and wait for a group of 15 people to walk by in Ireland jerseys. But, that's what you have to do sometimes.
I'm really surprised that he didn't. Or he thought like that,
Well, I just don't understand. I don't understand why. So he notices, okay, there's a really shiny black motor coach here, and I could get a reflection picture of it. I don't understand why this would be satisfying to him to the point where he stopped shooting, or this was the best of what he got, or something. It's a little bit weird. Yeah.
Very strange. Well, it's a shitty picture, Okay. By the way, Nin Lei recently participated in that thing that I just always forget.
Critical Beatdown.
Yeah, Critical Hoedown. And
what is it that we can't even remember our names of our own segments? That's not
kind of weird. Like it doesn't really like I understand it's called that way and everything. I understand everything, and like I like to name it as well, but it just doesn't stick in my head.
No.
I think it's early onset Alzheimer's, but
it could be.
It is.
So we've been doing Critical Beatdown for like 2 years, and we've only been doing Assignment Desk for 2 months. So you have more Alzheimer's than I do.
It's okay. We all die at some point. Like the fucking. So wait, hold on. Before I forget my train of thought. So Nin Lei, paid us the money and did his. We worked on his portfolio stat. will be up almost at the same time as this training ground will be. So just if you want to see what we talked about on Ninlei's portfolio, I think the best place will be go to Facebook, our Big Lens Fast Shutter BLFS Facebook site page, or you can go to our website. So that is Big Lens Fast. I'm a bit tired.
Big Lens Fast Shutter.
And you'll be able to actually find, the training ground hopefully as well as Ninlei's critical beatdown. So going back to the picture, yeah, the dog's legs cut is really fucking with me, and the tail. And I know, like, it's not. No, I don't like dogs though. I'm a cat person, so that's not like one of this like dog versus cat thing. Like, it's just it feels wrong, and also it also feels very wrong to me because I don't know what the fuck he's looking at. It's so blurred to the point that I've no idea. Like, I know it's probably like, bicycles or bikes, right? Yeah, circus race. I'm assuming that's what it is, but that's kind of like, okay. There needs to be a semblance of what exactly is going on over here to me. I like to, like, find the whole, whatever, the blurry thing. I like blurry stuff. It's great. I love it. But if it's too blurry, what are we looking at here,
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of things. I don't know if it's too blurry or not. I could piece that together at some point. I'm not. That's not the thing that's glaring to me. The problem for me is the angle. It's too high. You should have sat down or laid down, and framed the dog and the person better in the picture. And then I don't like the way the light is because the dog is overexposed and the person is underexposed. And so if you're going to do that, then drop the exposure on everything and get the dog properly exposed and get the guy completely in the silhouette. I think those two things plus the angle would have gotten you most of the way there. I'm not exactly sure how to conquer the problem of it being too blurry, because the more you start speeding up the shutter, then the less unconventional the picture becomes. So that's kind of a bit of interesting problem to solve. Yeah. So that's why I'm not super worried about how blurry it is. If the rest of it, if the angle had been better and the exposure had been better, then I could have gone along with it.
Yeah. I'm a bit more worried about the dog and the blurriness of the whole thing, but hey.
What if it was a cat?
It would have
been. What if it was a cat on a leash?
That would be even funnier.
Yeah.
Well, a cat on a leash really frightened by the whole, the cyclist going by would be really funny as well.
All right. Oh my God, I hate this picture.
What is this?
I hate this picture.
Is it like some cool...
It's the corner flag. Yeah. Yeah. So there's nothing interesting about a corner flag. I like the out of focus, but that you can see that it's a team. That that's the beginnings of something. But what it is that's in the foreground, that's in focus, needs to be interesting, and the corner flag is not it.
No.
Beyond that, the angle. There's no good reason for you to not be square with the line. Like,
be fucked off as well, huh? Like that. I don't like that either.
You can have it where the team's out of focus, but what do you want in focus? A person, the coach, something that's actually interesting in there. This just feels like I want to move it out of the way so that I can see the team, and I also want to shove you out of the way so that you're flush with the team instead of at this weird angle. These details matter. What's in focus matters. And let's look at it the other way. If you were taking a picture of the team running down the field, the team was in focus, then in the corner flag was out of focus but in the way, that wouldn't be okay, right? So why is this okay? It's not. It sucks. It's annoying.
Yeah, I don't understand why he went with the corner flag?
because it was stationary and you can set up on it. But the thing is that the more easy something is to set up on, the less special it's going to be as a picture. Like you need those fleeting moments where, you know, it could have been a ball boy, it could have been a ref, it could have been a coach, it could have been one of the players who got down to the end faster than the rest of them. But those things are hard and they go away very quickly. And that corner flag isn't going away ever.
But it's just really it's very mystifying for me that I don't understand like why he thought this was a good idea. Or
it's the, you know, the team being out of focus, but you know, barely recognizable. Like that part of it is visually pleasing to me. Like you can see, you know, the bit of the stadium, and you can see the, you know, the lights, the different colored lights in the background. Like that is a foundation for a picture.
Yeah, I like
it's
that
not
part,
for this
like,
one.
Why would he choose this?
Because he got caught up. Because he got caught up in the team. You know, you have to be able to see the whole picture. You have to see all of the elements, and then you have to see how all of the elements work together. And at some point, your internal editor needs to say, "There's nothing interesting about a corner flag, and there's nothing interesting about this angle."
But I just kind of think that that's what he was going for here. You know, that he was just like sitting there for the team to come because he wanted to shoot the corner flag. Don't you think? Like, just kind of like seeing how it's all set up.
Yeah,
that's what you wanted. It's fucked up, man.
I mean, this would have been better. Honestly, this would have been better if he had been down very low and focusing on blades of grass and the paint on the line, and had the team out of focus.
Yeah.
You
fucked it up.
This is like a fly in the ointment. Like there's no way around the, you know, you can't unsee the corner flag, and that's a huge problem.
So it's another one from Simon West, who fucked it up first, and this shouldn't be here. Well, I mean, no, like really, like this shouldn't be here.
It shouldn't be here in terms of the idea of it. The problem is that to drop the shutter so low, he ran out of low ISO, and
too whitewashed.
Listen, here's the thing. I really enjoy shooting wide open. I have neutral density filters, one for every lens that I use, including my 400. Yeah.
No, really?
I have
400?
Yes.
That's expensive, isn't it?
No, it's not. No, it goes inside the lens. It's not on the end of the lens.
Yeah, the one, that little slot.
It's a drop in. Yeah. It's only like 50, 52.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I have 3-stop neutral density filters for every lens that I have. They are not super expensive.
I should get those.
They give you the flexibility to shoot wide open at low shutter speeds. So when I am shooting something that I want to use for panning or something like that, but I'm at, you know, if you're at 2.8 and it's ISO 200 or something like that, and the shutter speed should be 4,000th or something like that, there's not really a whole lot of place for you to go, because you can stop it all the way down, but that's just way too much light to be able to properly expose something for panning. That's what happened here. He put it on the minimum ISO, I'm guessing, and put it on the maximum aperture, but the whatever shutter speed was just still letting in way too much light. This is what they make neutral density filters for, and you need one, period. There are just some times where you cannot stop it down anymore. You can't drop the ISO anymore. And if you're trying to blur something out, it is going to be overexposed. So other than that, the picture is good. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
But, you know, get yourself a $40 3-stop neutral density filter, please.
Toyin. The thing is, like, when you cut off like this, like, so when you cut off the heads, you know, of most of the people that are, you know, in the picture, the guy who is not, you know, that his head is not cut off should be doing something really just incredible, like, because that's the focus, you know. because my eyes are gonna going towards the guy with the ball. And because I honestly think the guy with the yellow and black stripe over here, he's not doing anything particularly interesting. He's going for the ball. That's fine. He's going for the ball. But they go for the ball all the time during a football match. And just because you have, I mean, the balance of the picture is that, like, because like I said, you have all these people with cut off heads, like they have no heads. So your eyes will gaze towards what you can kind of concentrate on, which usually is towards the ball. And there's one guy who I think should be quite, doing something quite spectacular to garner our attention, is not doing anything. So what happens then? It's a failed picture. It's a shitty picture because of that. And I don't think it really helps the fact that, like, there's a guy right behind him. He kind of takes even more attention away from what's going on because he's gonna blend in to the background. So no, it sucks, this picture.
Yeah,
I like the idea, but
yeah. Well, here's what I would do for this picture. First of all, it's underexposed. Period. It's underexposed. I would crop it at their feet, and I would crop it at the top of the one guy's arm. So if you're going to have a really headless guy, that shifts the focus onto the guy who is doing the slide tackle. Then it becomes a picture about him instead of the guy with the ball, and that's marginally more interesting to me. I'm fine with you cutting things off and shooting, after they've gotten too close for whatever lens you have, to get their full body in. That's all fine. But again, yes, he's just dribbling. It's not that exciting. So the only person who's doing something here that is exciting is the guy who's slide tackling. And this isn't even really a good slide tackle. This looks like it hurts. So I would, if you wanted to save this picture, I would bring up the exposure and I would crop at their feet, at the guy in orange's hand, on the right side where you have it, on the left side at the last white pair of cleats. That's the best you can do for this.
I'm getting a bit sleepy. Oh, I'm assuming he scored, but he's not doing anything. The thing is, like, you have to assume that we know nothing about what's going on, like, story-wise, for this particular shot, or any shot for that matter. Because we should all be going blind and going and saying, okay, here's a picture. Now, you should, have your own opinion about it. But if you start having to tell people, oh, this is significant because he just scored a goal and he's happy, it's a shitty picture, because that means that if you don't know the context of it, it doesn't do anything, So therefore, it's a no-no. Like, even if he didn't score, it's still a no-no, because it's not very exciting, So if he didn't score, and if you have another picture of it that he's doing something, really animated or very interesting, or you've actually taken it in a way that it kind of just has a specific mood to it, that's fine. But these type of pictures that you don't really know what the fuck's going on, and why you think it's even, like, we have to even guess, why are you even sending this to us? Because you thought it was good that he was kind of half celebrating, That's fucked up, man. Because I'm tired, sleepy, and I'm not fucking up to see.
Yeah, I think that this is a combination of, I think he was probably a step slow, because looking at how his fingers are, I think the actual celebration has already happened. Like he did his fist pump or pointing or something like that with a better expression on his face, and now he's done with that and he's waiting for his team to come over and mob him or something like that. So I think this is a timing thing. Honestly, I don't know. If you crop down, I don't like that, the bit of the scoreboard that's blown out, because it steals your attention away from the actual player. I think if you crop down from there, You know, it's not good, but it's savable. You know, if you want to have an average picture of a dude who just scored a goal. I think you missed the timing, which is you could have that scoreboard all day if you had a better celebration than that. But I think you just missed it, and I think that your reflexes, celebration. You know, you have to be anticipating it. It has to be like one of your objectives when you go to shoot. And so, do you really need to wait until after the guy has kicked the ball and it goes in the net and you see the goalie drop his head before you turn around to get the celebration? No. If you think there's a good chance that the ball is going in, then, shoot the guy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm hungry now. Jackie's laughing.
Yeah. Not
at this. She should be laughing about this one. It's boring. No? It's like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, the makings are here. There's nothing distracting, and you have the blue sky in the background, and you have the hill and the tracks. But you need to be laying in the snow. Like this is just like every other picture that Reed puts in here. He's just not going for it. These are, you need to be like, I haven't ever shot skiing or snowboarding professionally because, the winters are just too mild around here to have that. They can't, I guess they can't even plan to have it because there's been winters where we just didn't get any snow at all. But the times where I've shot my friends doing it, basically I said, okay, I'm going to be laying right here, and I want you to, come down and cut, 2 feet in front of me or something like that. And yeah, you have to be willing to get snow on your camera, and you have to be willing to risk them not making the cut and crashing into you or something like that, which I'm not recommending that you do because I could probably get us into some legal trouble. But that's what I do because, I'm a maniac like that, but and also mentally ill. But you have to sell out, man. You have to go for it. And this is just a snapshot. It's just, yes, you made it up to the top of the mountain with your camera, which is more than most other people do. But are you doing that to say, I was up here with my camera and I got a picture, or are you doing it to say, I got a dramatic picture that nobody else who came up here could do?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think people get a bit confused. Like, we don't really fucking give a shit about your efforts, We really don't. Like, you can say all you want. You can say whatever, but the results are results. And
I remember, I shot this was like when I was just getting started, I shot a cycling race, and I was in Southern California, and it was like, it was raining so hard, and I had to stand out in this rain for like 3 hours or something because they had, they were getting ready to close the roads around where the race was or something like that, and I just had to be inside of it. And I sat there and I got soaked, and I got marginal at best pictures from it because I didn't know anything about what I was doing. And, I got pictures of a wet course and guys who were wet, and that makes it mildly more interesting than if it hadn't been raining, but certainly not interesting all by itself. And I remember posting a couple pictures of it, and my mentor was saying, these are boring. Why did you post these? And I said, oh, because I just had to go through, these are all the things that I had to do. I'd be there 3 hours early and fight traffic and stand out in the rain. He was like, you can't see that in the picture.
Yeah.
And if it's not in the picture, it just does not matter at all. I don't care how, you got hypoxia or whatever from being at 20,000 feet, and that that was so cold that your camera battery stopped working or something. Like, just nobody cares. Either you got a good picture or you didn't get a good picture. And this is just boring, and you went through a lot of effort to get a boring picture.
Well done. Yeah, but they shouldn't be here, Tom.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, sorry.
yeah,
You should know. We don't have to explain the fact they shouldn't be here. It's good. I like this one a lot. They
yeah,
shouldn't be here either.
mm.
Yeah, well done. And this is probably the other reason, the other only instance that overexposing things, work without the ND filter on this one. But I think it's beautiful. It's a great shot, Simon.
Well, it's not. The subject isn't overexposed. The ice is overexposed,
Yes.
which is fine. You should overexpose the ice because you're exposing for the people.
Yeah.
Which is the problem with all the hockey pictures that we see is that people are trying to make the ice have,
Right.
pixel detail or something like that. The ice is ice. It's white, exposed for the skin. Ugh.
The fuck's going on with you,
I
man?
don't know, man.
The fuck is this?
Yeah, it seems like we're taking a step back here. I don't know.
No.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, dejection is dejection, but this isn't. This is just, he could be spitting or something like that. Like, his body language isn't even. If the pitcher was pumping his fist or something like that, then you could, even if it wasn't super dejected or something like that, you could read into it or something like that. But the pitcher's just putting the rosin back on his hand, so it doesn't matter that the pitcher's in the frame. Yeah, this tells a story. Like, this guy probably struck out or something, or in one way, shape, or form got out, and the pitcher's getting ready to. No, he's on base even. So yeah, I don't know.
It's nothing.
However, okay, so this makes it even worse because if he's on base, then it's not a dejection picture at all anyway. So the story that you're inferring isn't really, or the story that you're implying isn't really the one that happened.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's the fact like he's not really doing it has to be obvious. So okay, I think I have to kind of we have to tell you about these things because I don't think you really get it. The thing is, if you want to show, if your intention for this picture, we're just gonna forget what the background story is. We're just looking at this picture. If your intention was to show us how unhappy, or Matt said dejected he was after whatever he's done or whatnot, it's not fucking working. Okay, because it doesn't look sad enough. If you're kind of just going for a general kind of vibe thing and say this is kind of how it is, it's kind of like I'm just supposed to be shooting a very beautiful picture, it doesn't work either because it's not very beautiful either. Right? It's not like it's framed in a really beautiful way and the colors are flowing and the angles are great and just everything seems to be very, very just fittingly got very nice picture thing going on. That's not either. So what does that leave you? If it doesn't, doesn't really convey what the hell's going on, it's not very beautiful, then what is it? This is nothing. And you should know this by looking at it, and you have to ask yourself.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he's been with us long enough that
they should fucking know.
I'm questioning what's going on right now because I don't want to discourage trying things, maybe making a picture that isn't obvious or something like that. But I don't understand why these were kept. Like, I don't understand what the use was. Like, did you think we were going to say, oh yeah, this would have been good if his hand wasn't covering up part of the pitcher's leg or something like that? Like, that was never going to happen. There was never anything instructive that we were going to be able to say, like, oh, if you had just taken half a step over to the right, there's no saving this, there's no saving the other one.
No.
So I'm curious as to why you kept them and then said, okay, maybe this is something that they can help me get better on or something like that. We can't, these are just bad pictures. The only thing that we can do to help you get better is to say, don't do these things.
I mean, I don't really mind subtleties in sports photographs. I think there should be more anyway.
Absolutely.
It's too odd, but this is I don't get it. I'm trying to see, how it was made in your head that it was okay for you to think this is good. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Matt said, yeah, if the picture is holding his head and something really interesting happening in the background, sure, I think that would totally work. But there's nothing going on at all. Like there's nothing going on, you know? So, all right, what's the last one? All right, Matt Cohen, it's your favorite Sebastian Jervis.
So if you really, really, really needed this picture, if you went to this game and you just had 0 pictures of this goalie, and you had a client who said, "Oh yeah, it was his first shutout or something like that, and we don't care what picture we get, we just need a picture of him," then okay, you could crop this in really tight and be done with it. But what you are communicating to us and to anybody who's looking at this is that you think that there's something going on here to the point where you saved this picture and then posted it. But what I see when I look at this picture is a goalie who's in his ready position, who's a good stop or stop and a half underexposed. You have, unfortunately, a ref directly behind his head, so even if you cropped it, it would still be a ref behind his head. And you have the ref who is in the foreground, who's probably right up against the glass, and you have his whole shoulder in there. I shoot from this position as much as I can because you get some good stuff from here. But the downside of it is that the ref will skate in front of you because he's out of the way of anybody shooting on the net, and he has a good view of the goal line so that he can see if the puck goes in or not. And the refs have blocked many good shots of mine. But this isn't a good shot anyway, so having the ref's shoulder in it just makes it look even worse. You could have cropped around this, or you could have just thrown it away. Either one of those things would have been fine. You definitely should have just thrown it away because there's nothing interesting going on, and it's underexposed, and there's a ref behind him. So, I mean, this is just really a complete and total disaster, and you need to look at your picture, the whole picture. Like, what you're looking at is, I know what you're doing. He's in form, and I got him in focus, and you can see the goal and all of his stick, and okay, then you ran with that, but you failed to look at the whole frame. You either discounted or didn't see the fact that the ref's shoulder is there, and you probably just didn't even notice that the ref was standing behind him because you got tunnel vision on the goalie being in focus and in position. He's not making a save. He's not kicking up a bunch of ice. There's nobody crashing into him. Literally nothing at all is happening in this picture. And to make it worse, you have a ref right behind his head and a ref in the foreground. There's nothing you can do about those things. Like, the refs are going to be where the refs are going to be. Your job is to get the action or the emotion or something like that that overcomes all of that, or to have it timed out to the point where you have, those things are happening and the refs just don't happen to be in the frames right there.
Yeah.
So, and don't get, the tunnel vision part of it, that is such an easy thing to break. Run your eye around the outside of the picture. Is everything in this picture adding to the picture, or are some things detracting from it? And you have two big things detracting from it. So to overcome something like that, I mean, somebody would have had to have been in full midair and with their helmet coming off and their hair flying all over the place and the puck bouncing towards the net or something like that. You just have none of that. It's just a goalie in his ready position. That's it.
But even though, like, if you take the refs out, and I'm just like looking at it, imagine like those two refs not being there. It's not a good picture either. Because it's a very straight up composition of just having the goalkeeper right in the middle of the frame and he's not doing anything. He's supposed to be just kind of waiting for something to happen. That's it. And it's not like, if it's one of those like really subtle moments, then it has to be presented in a way that we should be feeling, different about this picture. We've not done anything to make that happen either. So basically, it's shit everywhere, So let me go back to the drawing board and just, show us something more. Matt invited you to this group, and I hope you do a much better job because this is not good at all. I'm sorry. I mean, if you have time to like, do your fucking little signature on the lower left hand side, or at least you like take more time to, shoot better pictures. Oh, I just said that. I just did. But it's true, you know? And don't let other people think. Just you should listen to yourself a lot more about this, okay? People are gonna fave your pictures anyway. People fave fucking anything. Like I've told people about this. Like I have more faves on Facebook for my daughter's pictures than my sports pictures, which means that probably my daughter's pictures that I took better than the ones I've taken with sports. But it could be it. That really could be it. So that wraps up this edition of Training Ground. If you've been here for the first time, it is we are an organization called Big Lens Fast Shutter, where we Matt Cohen and I we basically just hopefully can teach you how to become a better sports photographer. Most 99% of the info can be found at biglensfastshutter.com. That's our website. If you are interested in Training Ground, participating in it, you should go to flickr.com and search for Big Lens Fast Shutter, and you'll find our group. And there will be instructions and threads for the next episode of Training Ground. And you can basically put pictures in and blah, 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 and all these things. If you are a frequent user of Training Ground, and if you feel that your soul has been risen to the depth of hell, no, it's not possible because you can't really go hell. Maybe hell's upstairs. If you feel like you benefited from our advice, and you feel that we deserve, some kind of, reward like money, please go to patreon.com, and that is patreon.com/BLFS. And give us money, because what motivates us, even more than you succeeding, is basically getting paid. So nothing in life should be free, but you can listen to everything for free on this thing, on our, the Big Lens Fast Shutter network. So the podcast is free, Training Ground is free. Critical Beatdown isn't free. It's a paid service that came up. That is where we basically critique your portfolio on a video, and that could be made private or public. So private, that means you're the only person who can see it. If it's public, other people can. So that's really up to you. It's $100 per review. I think I've gotten all of them. So thank you very much for everything. I'm really hungry, a bit tired as well. And I probably, as usual, I got a fucking headache watching your shitty pictures as well. I'm sure Matt does, but he's nice enough not to say it. Thank you very much, and see you next month.